Hi, Anja. Merry Christmas.
Hi, Tansy. Merry Christmas. Happy solstice, winter solstice, at least in the Northern Hemisphere where we're at. Yeah, lots of red and green around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And on my computer, I'm watching a lot of red and green candles at the moment, celebrating and trading view.
Wait, on the 15-minute chart, the hour chart,
Yeah, I tend to look, yeah, 15 minutes is my go-to at the moment. Nothing's too predictable, so keep it
there's
small.
lots of red and green there. Christmas colors galore.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a bit more green. Maybe in the new year, the red candles will move to the green as spring rises.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's metaphor.
So we wanted to, yeah, hop on and just wish everyone a really wonderful Christmas. So this is a little bit of a Christmas special. Um, and to do that, we wanted to kind of give a little review of past year, think about what we've all gone through in this space, the good and the bad, the highs and the lows, and what we're kind of looking forward to for next year. So Anya, when you're like thinking back on the year, where did we kind of start with, or what have been your highlights for the year?
Highlights have actually been learning.
Mm.
Learning new things, learning new people on Twitter, following people, learning deeper concepts about Bitcoin and social economic movements. And so I think for me, the highlight was really learning.
Mm.
Um, my memory is so poor. I don't remember all the good things.
But what about like good things? Yeah, good things in the news, maybe. Like what were the kind of
Oh,
do you remember any?
yes.
Yay.
Oh, wait, was that this year? Oh, I was just thinking again of El Salvador. I always go back to the El Salvador, passing the regulation of accepting Bitcoin as their currency. But I think that was actually an end of 21.
Yes.
But I always go that route. But we also have Lugano, Switzerland, using it. It's not their currency, but they're really focused on encouraging the community to, like, stores and restaurants to accept Bitcoin. And they have this great tweet recently about how Christmassy it is in Lugano right now because everybody's shopping with Bitcoin. And it was
Oh,
just adorable. They made this little video. So that to me was very exciting. So there's actually lots of good news, good highlights. How about you? What are your highlights?
well, in my personal life, I think teaching has been a massive highlight. So on the other side, but also learning as I go, because I teach beginners Bitcoin and introducing that space and also connecting that with value. And I just love teaching and I love the community that I have met. I love all of the people who are in this community. And so my big personal highlight is the people and teaching and also my own learning and expanding and exploring. I think in terms of the space, what positive stories have come up? Yeah, definitely around adoption in terms of Lugano. That was very exciting. And I think just how many conferences there are, just how many people are really involved in this space who are speaking out about it. Like I know that that's been happening for a couple of years, but I really feel like this year the conversations have kind of got deeper, richer, rawer in some ways. And maybe because more people came into the space in sort of 2019, 2020. And so there's this real diversity of people in the space who are really excited and engaged and people that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So there's lots of different viewpoints and taking the Bitcoin conversation into like different realms, which is really cool. Um, and I guess like the focus this year has been on that environmental piece. And so funnily enough, I guess like a highlight almost was when Ethereum went to proof of stake because it really helped to kind of break open that conversation and really appreciate, wow, how important Bitcoin is. Um, And then, I mean, this year has definitely been filled with quite a lot of difficulties. And so I would say that the other positive piece is just the kind of the power of the Bitcoin community to keep being the morale kings, like boosting morale, keeping that support going and just reminding people that Bitcoin is beyond all of this. Bitcoin is more than all of these kind of issues. And actually, it hasn't really been so much about Bitcoin facing that many problems. It's more other things in the space that have
Mhm.
impacted the sentiment of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin itself hasn't really had any problems. Um,
Right.
yeah. So that's my
Yeah, I mean, if you looking at it from that sort of perspective of all the things that sort of the organizations that have fallen apart, the crypto organizations, the companies, the centralized organizations, Celsius, FTX. Maybe that is, I mean, in one way, it's good news. It's sort of the highlight. It's the year of flushing out these unhealthy organizations, flushing them out of crypto so that that new, powerful, really honest growth can happen in crypto. So it's like, a lot of times those wake up calls are, they weigh heavy on many people, but in another sense they are sort of part of that um, winter storm. Taking down some of the trees that are sick and old, and they're then there to be recycled for the next year for new growth. So, yeah, that's my take on that.
I think that's so true. There's been a kind of refinement, isn't there? Like a sort of clearing out the old to make way for the new.
Yeah.
And I think it does it does make for new organizations in the space to they're going to have to prove more that they have customer funds. They're going to have to do more to reassure the community. And so that is always a good thing to um, yeah, to build more trust, because I think a lot of trust has been lost. And it's a shame that we had to go through it. But I think it also just showcases that, even people, it really showcases this idea of trust. So, those people that hold a lot of money, like Sam Bankman-Fried, were just like, everybody trusted him without really looking into what business he was running simply because he had money. And it just sort of highlights the problems of our conventional system, and what's going on in our traditional world, where people who hold a lot of money hold a lot of power and aren't scrutinized, like Nancy Pelosi and her insider trading. Like, why has she
Yeah.
not been, why has that not come under regulatory scrutiny? Because she has a lot of money and because she's in a position of power. So and Trump and Biden, and it's like all of these people, right? So it's not a kind of political or um personal affliction. Like I'm not deciding, I'm not judging. It's just like, isn't it interesting how people with a lot of money and power manage to get away with a lot? And basically this crypto space is you know, is also affected. It's because it's coming kind of, the same people are kind of coming in. And I think that's what kind of moves you back into that Bitcoin of just, there is no one in control. There are people with perhaps lots of Bitcoin, lots of money, who can manipulate the price to a certain extent, but they can't manipulate Bitcoin. And that's in the sense of like what it is. And so that's really, really powerful. And I think it just, if we can, if we can really understand Bitcoin, all of these things just reinforce why Bitcoin, which we talk about a lot. But I think this year has really been that kind of a sort of stirring melting pot, and Bitcoin just keeps rising to the top. It's still just there. It's like, I'm still just doing me. Um, so
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I like that. Rising to the top. And the Glühwein, it's rising. The good stuff, the good treats are rising to the top. Be drinking Glühwein right now, next time.
Yeah, I love
But
Glühwein.
it's so wonderful to drink it in the when the snow is falling and it's cold out. So
Yeah, It's very different from mulled wine. Like in Sweden, I used to have glögg, which is very similar
Yeah.
to wine. And then and you would heat it on the stove with sultanas and some flaked almonds.
What's a
And
sultana?
oh, like a raisin, but a from a yellow grape, from a green grape.
Oh,
So a raisin is from a red grape and a sultana is from a green grape. So they're a bit more juicy and a bit more succulent.
oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I wonder if you guys call them something different. But they're
I only heard the term raisins, but I don't really eat many raisins, so I'm not in that community of people, so I don't know the language.
are we are we a community of raisin? Oh, those raisin eater communities. Dodgy. Um, yeah. So what are we looking forward to for 2023?
Um, lots of green candles.
Yes.
Like here's my little candle, green
Oh,
candle. That's so green candles.
nice. Definitely. The bigger the better.
And it'll be interesting what happens. I mean, it's like everybody's working on crypto regulation. The EU, at least you're hearing it, let's say on the Twitter space in articles, crypto magazines. The US and the EU are working really hard for regulation. And what does that look like? And I don't think we'll really know until it actually gets passed. And how will it get passed? It's I don't know. So
Yeah.
that I'm really curious about that as well.
Yeah, let's make some Christmas wishes. Um, so one is for lots of green candles.
Yeah.
Two is for positive, if there is regulation, that it empowers and is positive for the space rather than hindering or restrictive in an unhealthy way, especially for Bitcoin. So no KYCing every single transaction would be ideal. Mm-mm. Um, three, what do we really want? I would love for people to start using Bitcoin Lightning Network more. That's another thing that came out of this year, probably was a real big push with the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And I went to my local cafe recently and I educated him in a quiet moment, the owner, about Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. And he's interested to have a talk with me. So, Christmas wish would be to get Bitcoin Lightning Network into my local cafe and then see where I can expand it from there. Um, and for us to have lots of wonderful people on our show would be a real wish.
Yeah, wonderful interviews with wonderful people.
Yeah. And any more wishes?
Um,
Maybe
Peace
more.
and goodwill for the world. Joy, peace, and goodwill.
Definitely.
One for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely good wishes, goodwill, and joy. So what are your plans for Christmas Day? What are your plans for today?
I am going to hopefully go play out in the snow. I pull out my cross country skis um, in the Chicago landscape.
Ah,
Maybe
lovely.
along the shoreline.
Does the
Yeah.
snow stay there on the shore?
Yeah, it stays on the sand.
Oh, wow.
And they don't shovel there, so you get to keep the snow and follow all the tracks. I love seeing all the tracks, the human tracks and the animal tracks. You really see it's like a moment frozen in time, literally and figuratively. The little paw prints in the snow is just sort of frozen for a while until the next snow. So that's probably what I will be doing, and drinking some Glühwein.
Without
How
the
about
rain.
you?
I'm gonna finish eating lots of yummy food with my family and yeah, maybe go on a walk if it doesn't get too dark and just celebrate with nice people with nice food. And that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, exciting. Mm. Well, everyone who's listening today on Christmas Day, we wish you such a merry, merry Christmas. And we really look forward to speaking to you in the new year. We do have some exciting guests lined up, and we will be excited to talk to them and to share those conversations with you. But thank you for everyone who has been joining us this year. Thank you for your support. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us. And we just want to, yeah, just wish you a really amazing Christmas and New Year.
And also a happy winter solstice, which has just passed, but the energies are still here.
Thank you,
Oh.
Anja. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. And see you next time. Looking forward to it and enjoy yourself.
Thank you. You too. I'm going to see you in the new year. So have a lovely new year too.
Yeah, 2023.
Yay. Yay. Alrighty. Bye.
Ciao.